Hi, Lee Phillips here. I'm an attorney. Like I've always said, don't hold that against me. I'm one of the nice guys. You know, it's really a shame that 98% of the attorneys give the other 2% of us a bad name. At any rate, I want to talk about, do you really need an attorney when mom, dad dies? And the answer is, well, depends on what mom and dad did before they died. If they set up the living revocable trust and transferred property into it, all the property that needed their signature, then no, the successor trustee should be able to handle everything perfectly. You don't need an attorney. Why do you need an attorney? The whole object of the living revocable trust is to make it so that the bloodsuckers don't get you when mom and dad die. Now, the attorneys may set themselves up to have to be called, and the trust is going to say, I've read a lot of them that say, instantly upon mom and dad's death, you need to call the attorney. Well, no, not if we did it right. But usually those kind of attorneys have set it up so mom and dad didn't really understand how to use the trust. You got to understand how to use the trust or you're wasting your money. So make sure that you've got the trust, mom and dad have done it right. Now, there are other ways that you can avoid the attorney. Mom and dad could have put on their bank accounts POD, pay on death, or TOD, transfer on death, so that we know where it goes. IRAs, 401ks, insurance policies, those sorts of things should actually already have beneficiaries named, and they don't go through probate usually. So we could have named in our little company, in the operating agreement, or the bylaws, if it's corporation, who gets the ownership after the owner, mom or dad, die. So these are ways that we can avoid probate. And with no probate, you don't need an attorney to do anything. So why bother? I mean, this whole industry of probate is huge. In fact, go down to your courthouse. There's a courthouse for criminal and civil and everything else. There's a whole nother division, often a whole nother courthouse, just for the probate. It's a big deal, guys. And it's unfortunately a period of life where you're upset, you don't know what to do, you haven't lost mom and dad only once, you haven't been through it before with mom and dad, and the attorneys take advantage of people. I'm sorry, I have to say that. So avoid the attorney. If you don't need one, certainly don't get one. In fact, you can even do little probates yourself. Go down to your probate court. If the clerk's a nice guy or girl, they'll give you the paperwork. You fill it out and file it. So you can do it yourself almost as easy as the attorney. And unfortunately, like I say, I see attorneys milk their clients all the time in the probate process. Most of the states have passed Streamline probate, but that doesn't mean that the attorneys charge any less for it. So, Lee Phillips, nah, you don't need an attorney. In fact, figure out how to use the trust. I have an ebook, How to Use a Living Revocable Trust. It's free. Just click below and pick that up. It's actually a good read. It's about 20 pages. And it teaches you about the living revocable trust, even if you've got one. Or mom and dad have got one and you're worried about whether they're doing it right. Figure this out. Get the ebook and it should explain all of that to you. We don't sell your information or any of that garbage. And don't forget to love us and kiss us and like us and do whatever you do out there in cyberspace. Lee Phillips, nah, you don't need an attorney.